Let's not sugarcoat this. Fractionation is the ultimate mind control weapon to subdue a woman. What I'm going to teach here is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the guy who's happy settling for mediocrity or being his girlfriend's emotional tampon. This is for the masculine man who's ready to dominate, to command his woman's thoughts, feelings, desires, and her entire being. Shogun Method calls fractionation the gateway drug for a reason. It's the entry point into absolute emotional enslavement of a woman to her boyfriend or husband. But here's the catch. Mastering fractionation can be like playing with fire. If you're not ready to wield this power responsibly, stop watching now. If you want a surface-level, feel-good pick-up artist-style guide, this isn't it. Fractionation is a deep rabbit hole, and if you're ready to go all in, stick around, because we're about to uncover the exact strategy that only works when you have the balls to use it. There's something even more important you need to know. What you're about to learn is the tip of a gigantic iceberg of the Shogun Method knowledge universe. The deeper secrets lie in the Shogun Method online masterclass, where everything comes together. You'll find out about the masterclass at the end of the video, so watch all the way until the end. For now, we'll dive in first into the ultimate guide on how to use fractionation on your girlfriend. If you're tired of getting bossed around by your girlfriend and want her to submit to your control and authority, then look no further. There are 3 steps in the girlfriend fractionation strategy in Shogun Method, and we'll be going through each step in detail. Get ready and prepare to take notes. The first step is to create shared vulnerability with your girlfriend. Fractionation starts with trust, not the basic, "what's your favorite color?" kind of trust, but the deep, visceral connection that makes her feel like you see her in ways no one else does. Without this foundation, the rest of the process falls apart. Shogun Method's deep rapport technique is key here. To do this, you create emotional resonance by strategically tapping into her emotional vulnerabilities. This is the bait that sets her up for the emotional roller coaster you're about to unleash on her. And you do this with 3 Shogun Method tactics. The first tactic is what Shoguns call the golden memory trick. Start with something that mixes joy and loss. For instance, say to your girlfriend, "When I was a kid, we had this dog, Max. He was my best friend, always there, no matter what. One day, he ran out into the street chasing a ball, and that was it. I still can't think about him without feeling torn." Notice the emotional layering at play here. You pull her into a happy memory, then yank her into sorrow. This duality hooks her emotionally, and she won't even realize why. The second tactic is the vulnerability probe. Ask her something that forces her to reflect emotionally, like this. "What's something you dreamed of as a kid, but gave up on because people said you couldn't do it?" She'll reflect deeply on her own vulnerabilities, and when she opens up, you've got her hooked. The third shared vulnerability tactic is the shared pain technique. Once your girlfriend shares her broken dream vulnerability with you, don't just empathize. Match her story with one of your own. For example, say, "I know exactly what you mean. In college, I gave up on my biggest dream because someone told me I wasn't good enough. I still regret it." With these 3 tactics, you'll build the foundation that primes her emotions, getting her used to highs and lows. This builds into something more intense, and what's next is where things get dangerous. Once you've triggered the emotional switch, her emotions are now in a heightened state of flux. This is where the real power lies. What you do next determines whether she becomes emotionally anchored to you or drifts away. By amplifying her dependency, you solidify her attachment and ensure that the emotional high she feels can only be satisfied by you. This leads us to the second step in the girlfriend fractionation framework, to perform the emotional switch. This is where the infamous Shogun Method push-pull amplifier comes into play. It's not enough to create emotional highs. You need to follow them with sudden, deliberate crashes. I teach this in Shogun Method as the backbone of fractionation. When done right, it's like flipping her emotional world upside down. A staple emotional switch tactic is what Shoguns call the joy to sorrow shift. Tell your girlfriend a story with a happy start and a heartbreaking finish. Say to her, "One time during Christmas, my dad surprised my little sister with tickets to her dream Backstreet Boys concert. She cried tears of joy until we found out the band cancelled last minute. I've never seen her so crushed." The emotional whiplash creates an addictive need for resolution, which she instinctively associates with you. To introduce a challenge, disrupt her frame by hinting at doubts you're having about the relationship. This will prompt her to qualify herself to you, lowering her value and giving you power over her. For example, say, "You're okay, but there's something about you that feels hard to figure out. I wonder if I'm wasting my time." It's a subtle yet powerful emotional hit. She'll scramble to win back your approval, feeding into the emotional roller coaster. But take caution that this may rock the boat too much if you don't have things under control. If you can pull it off, she'll fall even deeper for you, strengthening the relationship even further. Treat it like an ace in your pocket. A less drastic example is this. "You remind me of someone I used to care about deeply, but they ended up disappointing me. I hope you're not like her." The doubt you plant is a hook she won't escape. She'll be jolted by your remark and want to respond by qualifying herself to you. Now, if you think this is intense, wait until you see how Shogun Method pushes this even further. This is just scratching the surface of what's possible when you fully grasp fractionation. It's risky, but it works. And that's not all. As a Shogun, you'll learn to take things all the way until the end. The third step is to amplify her dependency and seal the deal. In Shogun Method, we call this the reaching of emotional enslavement, or the E stage. The E stage is where you deliver the kill shot. This step is where you take her emotional addiction and anchor it to you. It's no longer about emotional spikes. It's about making her believe you're the only man who can make her feel this way. This secures your girlfriend's loyalty and devotion to you forever. An example of Shogun Method. E-stage tactic is the validation withdrawal. Give her a taste of approval, then rip it away. Say, "You're not like most women. You're deeper, more thoughtful. But sometimes, I wonder if you even realize your own potential." She'll start chasing your validation, which deepens her emotional dependency on you. Repeat this a few times, and she'll be under your total control. The key here is to put her on emotional roller coasters, where the ride gets more intense with each cycle. And when she's done, she's completely addicted to you, and quitting is no longer possible. In Shogun Method, I teach the Black Rose sequence. It's the de facto hypnotic routine to bring a woman to the stage of emotional enslavement. The Black Rose is not your average emotional manipulation tool. It's the ultimate step in Shogun Method, where you systematically plant the idea that no one else in her life can compare to you. The Black Rose sequence is so dangerous, so addictive, that I can't reveal the full method here. Because let's face it, the fewer people know about this, the better it would be for us Shoguns who know it. And if you're wondering why this works so effectively, you'll understand why Shogun Method is in a league of its own. But let me warn you, this isn't for every guy. Shogun Method isn't for everyone. My knowledge can be downright dangerous in the wrong hands. If you're not ready to go beyond the surface, or if you lack the willpower to take control of your relationships, don't bother. But if you're a man who craves absolute mastery over his life and relationships, if you want women to need you the way they need air to breathe, then you need to join the Shogun Method online masterclass. At fractionation.org, you'll learn the full seduction arsenal that will arm you to the teeth with state-of-the-art mind control. But remember, this ain't a quick fix, and this ain't for the weak. This is for men who are ready to dominate their relationships and bring their girlfriends and wives to heel. Shogun Method is only for the bold, the masculine, the decisive. Men who are tired of settling and are ready to take what they want unapologetically. If you can handle the heat of being a proud shogun, go to fractionation.org. But if not, step aside, because if you don't get it by now, I don't have the time to convince you further. Your move.